Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Warzone Pacific update is now live for everyone. Whether you own Vanguard, whether you don't own Vanguard, and you're just a Warzone free-to-play player, everyone now has the ability to jump into the Pacific map, into the Caldera map, and use any weapons you want. Either just the Vanguard weapons in the whole Vanguard Royale playlist, or any of the Vanguard, Cold War, or Modern Warfare weapons in the regular Battle Royale or the Plunder playlist. But today I wanted to specifically focus on some of the best new weapons in the game, some of the top Vanguard only loadouts you can level up and use right now, and safe to say they're pretty solid. So as we go through it all today, if you enjoyed the video or if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. And of course, if you're new to the channel or if you have not already subscribed, just about 58% of viewers who are watching the videos are not subbed yet. So if you want to guarantee you are always up to date with everything going on in COD, between news, updates, loadouts, tips, it is all right here each and every single day. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. Also, in celebration of the Pacific update, my friends over at G Fuel have bumped code Immortal up to 30% off for the entire weekend. So from now through Monday, if you want to grab anything at all from the G Fuel site, it is the perfect time to do so. Code Immortal gets you 30% off instead of the normal 10%. And it's also the perfect time to grab anything in time for the holidays. So the first setup I want to take a look at is a combination of the BAR, then also the PPSH. The BAR is just that powerhouse rifle. It's sort of similar to like the Odin from Modern Warfare, obviously, where it has a very slow fire rate, but man, it hits like a truck. Only thing is, the Odin in Modern Warfare had some disgusting recoil. This is very easy to use, right? It is very straightforward. If you mount with this thing, it has no recoil at all. It's like a 4-shot kill at pretty much any range. Like, it is insanely strong. Now, first up, when it comes to the muzzle, this is one of the categories where I'm the most torn, because honestly, the F8 stabilizer, or the equivalent to this on any gun, is incredibly useful for medium to long range. You get better accuracy, so better bloom, but also a better damage range, which is extremely beneficial. And you lose sprint to fire and hip fire, but those aren't things you're really paying attention to on a medium to long range build. But at the same time, something like the MX silencer here, which gives you better accuracy but also suppresses you, is very beneficial as well. So you could honestly use either or here, and you can't go wrong. You're just losing ADS speed, which is going to be a little bit slower, especially on this setup, but really either the MX silencer or the F8 stabilizer is a solid one there. As far as the barrel goes, absolutely going for the 27-inch barrel here, primarily because it's giving you better accuracy and control, but also better damage range as well. You want to extend that range basically as much as possible to give us that most optimal shots to kill and time to kill, right? So that's definitely a no-brainer pick there. As far as the optic goes, you got a couple of choices here. I know a lot of players right now are running the G16 2.5 times scope. This is sort of like the VLK 3 times in a way. It's sort of like that T-pose looking sight, but also there's a reticle that is essentially exactly like the VLK 3 times with that T-pose, and that is going to be the 3 to 6 times optic, the SVT40 PU scope 3 to 6 times. Now, this is a zoom scope. You can go all the way to 6 times, and if you do that, your visual recoil is going to have a lot more bounce. But if you just leave it on the 3 times version, this actually has very minimal recoil, and it is very easy to trace enemies, to track enemies. I'm really liking this scope a lot. I'm using this on pretty much all my main rifles at the moment. As far as the stock goes here, I'm going for the Chariot WR. Better accuracy, better flinch resistance, better recoil control, all around the best things you want to have on a medium to long range build. For the underbarrel in this case, I think the best two choices on pretty much every weapon are the Carver foregrip or the M1941 hand stop. This one is giving you better recoil control and accuracy, whereas Carver's giving you a little bit more control, but also some better hip fire accuracy as well. Personally, I feel like the hand stop is the most optimal on most rifle setups, just because you're not getting really the best pros out of Carver, whereas hand stop is helping you in two areas that are incredibly beneficial. For the magazine here, absolutely going for the 50 BMG 30-round mag. This is going to help with bullet velocity and range, which is huge. You get better ammo capacity, and also you get better damage as well. This is going to allow you to get that 4-shot kill in quite a few different scenarios. On pretty much every weapon in the game, lengthened is the best ammunition upgrade. 30% bullet velocity is huge if it's the exact same from Vanguard, obviously, so that's a huge pro to have with no real cons there. For the rear grip, I'm pretty much always running polymer. The flinch resistance is cool, and that's a nice added bonus, but really, the accuracy and recoil during sustained fire is what I'm looking for here. The more you lay down the trigger, the more you spray and pray, you're still going to maintain good accuracy and good control. For perk 1 in this case, I feel like hard scope is really good. It's basically doing the same thing as the polymer grip does, increased accuracy and recoil in sustained ADS, and especially on a weapon like this that bounces a little bit more because of that slower fire rate and better damage, it's going to make you a lot more accurate. Then in perk 2, run fully loaded on pretty much every single rifle or ranged weapon you have. We want that max ammo from the get-go. That's going to be a huge pro. Now for the secondary here, the PPSH, I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. This is the best secondary in the game right now, at least for Vanguard weapons. It fries. great mobility, great damage, great ammo capacity, like all around. There is nothing bad about the PPSH, it seems like right now. So this thing is an absolute beast. I am loving it. First up here, again, a little bit torn on what I want to do for the overall muzzle. F8 stabilizer does work very, very well because it gives you some better accuracy and also increases the damage range, which can be pretty useful in some cases. You could also just be running the rifle break and getting some better accuracy out of that, which is pretty solid. Or you could also go for the M1929 silencer here, which is basically the same as what it was over on the bar. Better accuracy, better sound suppression, but a slightly worse ADS, which is sort of why I'm torn against using that, because ADS is pretty important on a sub. So I'm still running the F8 stabilizer for now, but that might change over time. For the barrel here, I do go for the last one, the Zach. They spelled it right and everything. 300mm barrel, better range, better velocity, better accuracy, better control, like all around, easily the best barrel we got there. And you can make up a lot of this movement with other attachments. I do not run an optic in this case. Not a fan of any of these sights, honestly, because you get like a weird like diagonal movement when you start to shoot if you're running an optic, and some of these iron sights on here are just not great either. So I run the base default optic. For the stock here, I do go for the first one. Better movement, better sprint to fire. We make up some of the cons on some of the other attachments. Keeps it nice and agile and great for an SMG. For the underbarrel here, I actually think the Carver foregrip is a pretty solid option because it is an SMG, so you are hip firing a little bit, so that can be pretty solid. Better control is also really good. At the same time, though, the hand stop also does work pretty well. Better control, better accuracy. So you really can't go wrong with either of those, in my opinion. Both work very, very well. If you think that you're struggling a little bit more with control, the Carver foregrip might be for you. If you just want a very accurate weapon, you might go for the hand stop instead. For the magazine, this is important. You do not want to use the first 71 round mags. These hurt your range and your velocity and your damage. You want to go for the basic Gorenko 71 round mags. This is just your basic extended mag. All it does is hurt your ADS and your movement speed a little bit. You're going to see this on pretty much every single weapon. You absolutely want to be running these. You can just spray and pray everybody. Wipe a squad with this without reloading. It's perfect. Lengthened, obviously, yet again, is our ammunition upgrade of choice. Once more, we are going for the polymer grip. For perk 1 here, I feel like tight grip is very beneficial. This is sort of the same as like hard scope, increased accuracy and recoil during sustained fires, so that's definitely solid. However, steady is also pretty good, as is fleet. So if you want to mess around a little bit with those and see if your setup feels a little bit better or you like it more, feel free to try out those, but I really like tight grip. And then perk 2, I actually go for quick in this case to get some better sprint speed. However, fully loaded is also a great option as well. This more so comes down to personal preference. Now, my second loadout here is going to be my sniping loadout. I really think that the sniping in this game feels different and kind of weird, but I also think the sniping is pretty solid. Like, the car in this game feels very good to me. I really haven't been getting many hit markers. It's very easy to predict the bullet lead and the bullet travels. So, I mean, the car just feels good. It does have a lot more flinch, though, than the MW car. The Swiss is also still looking pretty solid. We are going to see some future weapon tuning, though, and we'll be covering that here on the channel whenever that happens, so we could see some changes happen there. But as far as the car goes, this is definitely my sniper of choice right now. First up, I'm going for the L brake. This gives you better accuracy. Straightforward, very basic. You want to have the best bloom possible. For the barrel here, I'm going for the third one. The VDD barrel here is going to give you better bullet velocity, better accuracy, and also a larger one-hit kill area or a larger crit area where it's going to be dealing a little bit more damage. It basically is sort of like Vital, but in the form of a barrel. So that's definitely very solid there. I don't use an optic. I like the base scope. It just looks fine to me, and I'm perfectly comfortable with that. For the stock here, I go for the first one, the thumb hole, primarily because it gives you better flinch resistance and also better aiming stability. You don't always have to be holding your breath to be that accurate, and that flinch resistance especially is very beneficial on the Vanguard snipes for sure. For the underbarrel here, a bit of a weird pick, but based off of the pros, the heavy foregrip to me feels pretty solid. It doesn't have any recognizable cons. Better aiming stability and better aim walking steadiness is pretty solid for, you know, being on the move and trying to snipe and be a little bit more aggressive with that. For the magazine here, you don't have to run one. I would not recommend the first one here. You don't want worse damage and worse velocity on a sniper. The first fast mag here is all right, but the second fast mag gives you a better ADS. So why not use that one if you're going to use a mag? And then I wouldn't recommend using the 20 round mags. Those are not it. If you're gonna run a mag, run the 3-round fast mag with the better ADS, but you don't have to do that by any means. Lengthen we're going for yet again. For the rear grip in this case, I'm going for the fabric, better ADS, better sprint to fire. That's ideal on a sniper. For perk 1, this is a pretty easy choice for me. Shrouded is great. Scope, glint, concealment. I can be a little bit more stealthy when I'm sniping. Obviously, when I shoot, a red dot's going to show up, but I'm going to be harder to spot in the bushes or in behind the trees and whatnot. So that's pretty solid. Then perk 2, we are once again going for fully loaded. Now for my secondary here, I'm going for the Automaton. I feel like this is a great sniper support weapon. For what it's worth, it's also a great just basic AR. It's one of the better rifles in the game right now, in my opinion, for medium and long range fights, but because it can be so aggressive, it's also great for sniper support, so I can use this up close in a medium range, or even if I have to, at a long range in case I'm out of snipe ammo or whatever the case may be. So first up here, again, same argument as before. You could either be going for the MX silencer, or you can go for the F8 stabilizer. I've been running the stabilizer thus far, and I've really been enjoying it. For the barrel, very easy choice here. Anastasia Sniper. Better velocity, better range, better accuracy. Literally could not get better pros for a barrel here, so that by far is the no-brainer choice. For the optic, it sort of depends on if you want to use this as a base sniper support or a base rifle, primary rifle, right? If you're going for sniper support, absolutely go for the 2.5 times. It's perfect for medium range, some close range as well. Literally fits the category of sniper support perfectly. However, if you want to, use this as a primary rifle, then I go ahead and recommend the 3 to 6 times scope, just like over on the bar. Comes down to what you want to use it for there. For the stock here, honestly, I don't feel like any of these stocks are all that great. However, for sniper support, I don't feel like the skeletal is all that bad. Better initial recoil, better aim walking movement speed, so you get that strafe speed. It's a little bit more aggressive for those close and medium range fights. However, padded is also great. Better flinch resistance, better accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. You literally cannot go wrong there. For the underbarrel, again, it's either Carver or hand stop, whatever you choose. Both of those are going to work very well. For the magazine, really, you got a lot of choices here. You could go for the base 45 round extended mag. It works just fine. 45 rounds is plenty. Or you could even go for the 75 round drum mag, which makes you a little bit slower, but you never have to worry about reloading. Just comes down to preference there. For the sake of sniper support, I feel like 45 works pretty solid. Obviously, we're going for lengthen once more. For the rear grip, we are once again going for the polymer grip. For perk 1 here, tight grip is once again available, and I pretty much am always using that if it's an option, unless there's vital or something. So that's definitely my go-to choice there. And once again, fully loaded for perk 2 is pretty much the no-brainer choice. Then finally, what I think is probably the best setup in the entire game, a combination of the NZ41, then also the same PPSH setup from earlier. The NZ41 is absolutely my favorite rifle in the game. This is the best rifle in the game, in my opinion. Funny enough, when we were playing early with a bunch of other creators and streamers the other day, I was using this in the pregame, and I was like, I don't know, shooting this thing, this feels very good. I think this might be like the top rifle versus the bar versus the Automaton versus the STG, and right now, this is absolutely my #1 choice. We'll see if that sticks with the weapon tuning, but for now, it is an absolute beast. F8 stabilizer, again, for my main muzzle. You could always go for the MX silencer, though, as well, if you wanted to. For the barrel here, we're going for the 360mm barrel. Better accuracy, better control, pretty ideal on a rifle. For the optic, again, you could either go for the 2.5 times, or you could go ahead and use the 3 to 6 times scope, which I've been using and I really enjoy there. For the stock, I'm going for the E-Pack. Better control, better accuracy, better flinch resistance, all super ideal for a medium to long range rifle. For the underbarrel, same deal as always. Carver foregrip or the hand stop, both of these work very, very well for whatever case you want to make here. Better control and accuracy, so you can't go wrong with either of those. For the magazine, this gun sucks. I'm not going to lie. The magazine options are very bad. The only decent mag you get, I feel like, really is the 20 round fast mag, but it's only 20 rounds. That's not super viable. The other mags here hurt your damage and your, bullet velocity and range, but the 45 round mag, I've seen quite a few people using it. I've tried it out myself. Despite the cons that this offers, it doesn't feel that bad. I'm still very accurate with this. I feel like it's very easy to get easy kills with this, even on moving targets, on head glitch targets. So you could try the 45 round mag if you wanted to, but as it stands, I'm not really always running a magazine on this. The base 30 seems to be working just fine for me. However, the 45 is a solid option. Obviously, we're going for lengthening yet again. We're also going for the polymer grip yet again. For perk 1, I actually go for acrobatic here. Better movement speed, better sprint to fire, or better sprinting speed rather, which actually sort of makes up for some of the other cons that we had with some of the other attachments. It makes it a little bit more aggressive as a base rifle. And you can actually use this in some of your medium range fights too if you have this out and you get caught up, right? So that's pretty solid. And then perk 2, once again, obviously, we are going for fully loaded. And the PPSH setup is the same as before. In this case, I tried out the M1929 silencer, but other than that, same exact setup as the other one. And this, like I said, is the best SMG in the game, so that's pretty solid there. For the perks and equipment right now, I'm doing EOD, Overkill, and Amps alongside the frag, and I've been messing around with the stun. I'm trying to, go between stuns, flashes, the heartbeat, and the stim, just to see what I like the best. Stims are kind of ideal, but I don't feel like they're helping me in gunfights as much as a stun or a flash would. The stuns did get nerfed, but also, it seems like they're dealing a bit of damage right now. I've gotten some knocks with some stuns, which is kind of weird, so that's what I'm running for the time being. We'll see if that changes over time, but, I mean, that said, those are my go-to setups, honestly, and I am loving these right now. Absolutely frying. hopefully this video helped you guys out, helped you figure out what you want to start working towards leveling or using in-game right now. As we get any future weapon tuning, we'll be changing up our setups and covering those ASAP. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel with your notifications on. That way you can always stay up to date with everything going on in COD, between the loadouts, the news, the updates, and everything else in between. And of course, if you enjoyed this video or if it helped you out, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.